Why did I decide to do this? Why did I think organizing my yarn was a good idea? Hi there, Michelle here, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be reorganizing my yarn again. I think it's been about a year since the last time I reorganized my yarn. Funny enough, one of my top videos right now is that video of me reorganizing my yarn. So if you're new to my channel and you just watched that video, here's another one because I need to do it again. If you did watch that video, I just kind of like organized the yarn, pretty much it, and I just put it into 2 totes. And to be honest, it's working. Like, I kept my yarn organized. They're like in the bins, they're organized. I'm gonna reorganize them, but that system worked for me. However, you might be thinking, Michelle, if that system worked for you, why are you reorganizing it? Because since I filmed that video almost a year ago, I have acquired more yarn. I have more yarn now that's not gonna fit in those. So we're just gonna reorganize everything because I have more yarn. Also a bat. I don't know why I have a bat. Okay. I'm really bad at not using the yarn that I already have when making a new project because every single time I think of an idea, I either don't have the colors for it or I don't have the right yarn for it. I can never just have both. And when I have the perfect yarn and the perfect color, I don't have enough of that yarn to do the project. So then I go out and buy more yarn, and then I buy a little bit too much yarn for that project because I don't want to run out of yarn. And then it just snowballs into the fact that I have so much yarn now. This is not going to be a one-day thing. I think this is going to be a few days, or maybe just a one-day thing. I don't know. It depends on how bored I get because it's not fun. I have 1 bag of yarn. I have another bag of yarn. I don't know really what's in here. Yarn stuff. I have this box of yarn. I also have this bag of yarn. Got a lot of yarn. Also, this is not including projects that I'm working on. Okay, I have this bag of yarn. That is a temperature blanket that I'm currently working on, so that yarn has to stay in there. I also have another bag over there with yarn in it for a future project that also I can't really sort into anything. So, it's been a while since I've done anything with organization. Yesterday, I went to Canadian Tire with my dad, and they actually had totes on sale, and so I picked up, well, he picked up for me. They were on sale for about $12. I don't think I need 2 of them. I might switch that one out though because I don't like that one anymore because there's not enough room in it. So I think what I might do is I might use 2 of these. The one that I'm not going to use I might give to my sister because I told my sister, I'm like, oh, totes were on sale. And she's like, why didn't you tell me? I'm like, well, I didn't know they were on sale until I got there. So now I kind of feel guilty for having 2 totes. I need the totes. I have way more yarn than she does, okay? I have way more yarn. And then she steals my yarn. Let me organize my yarn and then you just take what you need from it. That's the thing. And then I also have this container here. I believe I bought this at Walmart 4 or 5 years ago. And I just had a bunch of like random Etsy stuff. So I did have an Etsy store long ago where I used to sell some stuff and now I'm just like, I don't want to deal with that. That's why I don't sell things because I hate selling things, especially online. I had a bunch of my Etsy stuff in here and it's like, Michelle, you haven't done Etsy in like 3 years. Why? So I just kind of combined all of the junk drawers into one giant junk drawer and I'm not thinking about that because we're thinking about other things. So I'm going to use this for yarn too. My idea for this is that I have a lot of like this little tiny cotton yarn that I don't want to use one of the big totes to put all the cotton yarn in. I'd rather put all the yarn in one, like all the cotton yarn in one, you know? I have 3 totes to work with, technically 4, but I don't want to use the one. I want to like take that out and do something else with it. I think what I want to do is I want to put all of the same brands together. And not so much brands, just maybe the weight. Like I have this impeccable yarn. I had just made a checkerboard sweater. If you hadn't seen it, check it out. I love it. It's so cute. And I bought a little bit too much yarn. I didn't know how much I was gonna need because my sweaters are usually bigger and I made this one a little bit smaller, so I didn't need to buy all the yarn. But if I had made it the same size that I normally do, I would have needed it. So I might put like all the impeccable together. I also might put all the like, maybe I'll do, I don't know what I'm gonna do. That's the thing. Why did I decide to do this? Why did I think organizing my yarn was a good idea? This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put it all on the floor. I'm gonna put everything on the floor, and then from there, I'm going to figure out sorting them into things. And then I'm also gonna figure out if I want to use this guy. It is a yarn winder, which I did use in my last video, and that was the last time I used it. because it's actually my sister's, and then we did go thrifting, which I showed in the thrifting video, and then I completely forgot in that video, but my sister actually found a blue one, and she looked it up online and was like 50 bucks, and she got it for $3. So she took that one because she liked it a little bit better. Like I said, I'm going to empty this tote, that tote, 3 bags of yarn, and then we can get into figuring out what I want to yarn wind, what I don't want to yarn wind, figure out maybe if I want to organize the individual bins by colors. Maybe I'll get some cardboard and like break it up. Who knows? You're just along for the ride while I have mental breakdowns trying to figure out what to do to organize my things. Fun times. Also, I do want to point out that if there's any Rat King situations where the yarn is all tangled, I'm cutting it. I don't care. I do not have 3 hours to detangle it, nor the patience. Did this last year too, because I couldn't do it. I'll do my best. It is what it is. I can't spend all day doing it. That's what I'm talking about. I'm gonna do my best, but I'm not gonna obsess over this. If I have to cut the whole stuff out, I'm gonna have to cut it out. It is what it is. I'm a disaster, so yeah. What you see here is obviously the sped up version, but it took me 22 minutes to detangle this. Luckily, this was the only like major thing that I had to detangle. Thank goodness. Okay, so piles. I have mystery yarn. Mystery yarn isn't like mystery yarn. It's just yarn that I only have one of. But yeah, so this is just random yarn. I also have random yarn that I don't know if I want to keep or not. So this yarn here, well, this is from Furls. They sent me this really beautiful yarn here. And then these two are from Michael's. So I put those together. This is very lightweight. So this would be a light 3, a lot of like the Patons Astra collection, random yarn from over the years. So this is the very lightweight. I want to say it's all probably a light 3. This is like the chunky yarn. A lot of it's the Charisma. Look how old this one is. But this is a bulky 5 yarn. This funness is a mixture of the Craft Smart yarn and the Impeccable yarn. So it is a medium 4-weight yarn. It's the most yarn I have of anything. Pretty much you probably can combine all of my yarn and it would probably be the same amount of just this medium weight yarn that I have. I have really, really chunky yarn. This is actually from that Gator Loki that I made like 2 years ago. Over here, we have all my cotton yarn. So we have like this yarn that I got from Hobie. And then yeah, just a bunch of cotton yarns that I, see how small these cotton yarns are? That's why I want to put them in this teal thing right here. So that's why, because I'm not going to have a huge tote just for this. That's all my yarn. I think what I'm going to do, this I might separate into 2 totes. I might put my Craft Smart in one and my Impeccable in another, because although they do say for medium weight yarn, they are 2 different thicknesses. I think I might sort chunky and chunky yarn into a tote, and then I think I might get lightweight yarn with that yarn and put that in a tote. Listen, I have 4 totes and I might end up using all 4 totes. I'm just gonna start organizing and then fill you in while I go. I'm gonna put all of my Impeccable yarn in this one here because it's smaller. I'm gonna put all of my Craft Smart yarn in that one. Also in here where I am putting all my Impeccable, also gonna put a few more that are medium weight. So if they're on the thinner side of a medium weight, they will go in here. In this bucket here, I'm gonna be putting all of my really thick yarns and also yarns that I don't use a lot. Like I don't use chunky, bulky yarns as much as I used to. So I'm gonna put them in here. Actually, you know what? Scratch that. I know, I keep making impulse decisions. I'm actually gonna put all of this yarn in here because it's enough for it to keep growing. Like I know I'm gonna buy more yarn. Now that I'm thinking about it, this bulky yarn, I don't remember the last time I bought bulky yarn for anything. Yeah, I'm just gonna move all this in here. I have a lot more Craft Smart yarn than I thought I had. So I just wanna like keep it all together. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense to me. So in this one, I'm gonna put this baby yarn. Even though it isn't thick yarn, I'm not gonna touch it as much. I mean, maybe the white, but I know where it is. Now, when I used to use a loom, one of the little round peg looms, I used to always make my hats out of this really chunky yarn. That's why I have a lot of it. I bought it to make hats out of, and then I learned how to crochet better, and now I crochet my hats. I thought I wasn't gonna need this, but I am. I'm gonna need to use this. Fantastic. Now in this one here, I'm gonna be putting the yarn that doesn't really match with anything. And then I'm also going to be putting all the thin yarn in here as well. I was kind of hoping maybe to get the thin yarn in the drawer system. There's not enough space. So we're putting thin yarn and fun yarn. Yeah, this stuff here I'm actually going to turn into little cakes. So I am going to be using my yarn winder for this. I didn't actually have to wind too much yarn like last time. I was just winding the stuff that was kind of really messy. And while I was winding the yarn, I was just watching a few episodes of Are You Scared by Watcher because I love that channel. All right, now, because it's me, this isn't the vibe. It doesn't go with this. So I went to the Dollarama and I picked this up. I'm just gonna cover, not the whole thing, because they're never just gonna be by themselves, but if I could cover like one side, two side, three side, and like then leave the back side open, I just wanna see how that looks. Like I just wanna do that because it looks like faux wood and I'm not a big fan of clear plastic stuff. This is how the tote looks when it's done. I don't like it. I made an oopsie up there. I don't know. I don't like this wood finish. I think that's it. This one is different than the wall one and it's different than the desk one that I had. I just don't like it. It looks too rustic. I'm not a rustic person. I'm not rustic. Okay, I am retro, I am vintage. I am not barn doors in my house rustic. I'm gonna leave it for now, it's fine. I don't really care. I can still see through the top. I'm just gonna leave it. If I find something better, like I would love to find like floral wallpaper, like floral contact paper kind of thing. Put that on here. I think that would be really cute, but for now, this is fine. In here is all of my really, really chunky yarn. I put it in the smaller container. I don't buy this yarn very often, so I don't need a container to grow in. This bin here is all of my thinner yarn. I like to keep the labels, I don't know why. And special yarn, so yarn that I only have one of, and just the thin yarn. Again, it doesn't need a lot to grow in because I rarely buy random yarn anymore, and I don't buy a lot of the smaller yarn. This yarn here is all of my Craft Smart yarn. Like it's just all Craft Smart yarn. In here is all of my 4 medium weight yarn. 90% of it is Loops and Thread impeccable yarn, but I did throw a few in here, like this one here. It's very thin. That actually just might be, I don't know. But I think there's a few that might not be the same brand, but it's the same yarn weight, whereas the Craft Smart yarn, it's a little bit thicker, even though it says it's a 4 medium weight, and I know I keep saying this, it's just a little bit thicker. So I want that all to be together, and I want this all to be together. Then in here, I just kind of went by brand, so I put all that Hobie yarn in this one, and this one here is all like the Bernat Michaels type of yarn. This one here, what I actually did is anything that's a really small amount of yarn. Here's the thing, if I were to put this in the totes, it would probably just unravel itself and get lost. Whereas this, I'm like, oh, like I just need a little bit of a color for a project, or hey, like I just need to sew up some ends or attach things together. I can look in here and I might have that color yarn. While I was organizing my yarn, I did find a lot of like things from past projects. So this is from that birthday cardigan I made. I made it way too big. and then I tend to take a bunch of squares out. I think I might make a bag or something with it eventually. This is from a pom-pom rug I did over a year ago. This is from that granny square balaclava I made. I made too many squares, and this is what was left over. This is from that strawberry cardigan video that I did. This is from a, what was that? Granny square bag that I made. This is from that lamp shade that I made, and I kind of want to redo it. And then this is also from a project that I did. I don't know what I want to do with these yet, but I can't throw them out because I feel bad. All right, and there you have it. My yarn is all organized for now. Now that I have these bins, I'll be able to organize my yarn when I get it, because to be honest, I only had 2 totes last year, and because I only had 2 totes, they were pretty much filled. So if I got any new yarn, they just wouldn't fit anywhere. Thus, I had to be creative on how I stored my yarn, and by be creative, I just mean keep buying reusable bags from like Value Village and Winners and Marshalls and stuff like that, and putting my yarn in there. But now I have the 4 totes, and I have the little drawer system, which is, it's perfect. It's gonna take up more space in my room now, but I'd rather have a bunch of totes than a bunch of random bags. Also, I do want to reorganize our basement, because my sister also wants to do it too, and kind of make it like a yarn center, so I can put all my yarn bins down there, and then that way if she needs yarn, she can grab it without having to go into my room or asking me. They're just there. That's a project that I would like to work on, is like completely like redoing our basement, because right now it's just a bunch of stuff that I have to like organize and everything. Hopefully that will happen this spring/summer, because I would love to have a nice couch down there where I can just sit, watch TV, and crochet, and have all my stuff there without, you know, filling my entire room with my crochet stuff. Anywho, I think that does it for this video. If you're new to my channel, like sewing, thrifting, crafting, and of course crocheting, why not hit the subscribe button? You can also follow me on my Instagram and my TikTok. I think that's it. So y'all have a good day now.